We have breaking news here on NBA Today. According to our senior insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, De'Aaron Fox has fractured the tip of his left index finger in Game 4. Woj reports that there's still optimism. He's going to try and play in Game 5 on Tuesday. He would need to play with a protective covering on his finger. He's going to be listed as doubtful. This is according to our senior insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. And Ramona, I'm told that this happened late in this game.
Yep.
And you know what that means. Then we saw him make big buckets already with this fractured finger. So, Richard, I'll start with you here. How concerned should we be here for Fox?
Well, again, I think this is an individual pain threshold. Is this something that I think a player can play through? Yes. Do I think De'Aaron Fox is the type of player that if he can? Yes. I'll take you back to Ja Morant. We saw Ja Morant land on an already injured hand, see all of his fingers bent back, and was still able to come back and have the performance that he did. I think this means too much to De'Aaron Fox. If he can, he will. Ultimately, this is something that players can play through. There's a number of players, CJ McCollum, different guys have been playing through like little ligament tears, little fractures, stress fractures. This is something that in the postseason you can play through. Regular season you would sit.
Yeah, fortunately when it's your finger, like the rhythm is not necessarily all powered through one or two fingers. So that's something you feel like you can be comfortable playing through, as Richard said. But I'm someone who has known De'Aaron Fox since he was in high school. We both went to Cypher Independent School District. This guy's a competitor. And so if he's able to play, I would not be surprised if he still is able to play at a very high level. Because as you said, Malika, he hit that shot likely in the circumstance where his finger was injured. Now, again, after some time, the adrenaline comes down. It might feel different. You might have, it starts throbbing.
Starts throbbing.
Catching might feel different, but knowing this guy, knowing his toughness, and knowing what he's been through this entire season to get this team exactly where it needs to be, I would not be surprised if he still pushed through.
You just put a little needle,
No, you mean, look, when you get ice water.
Let me ask you shooters
right
over here, okay? You guys are both good shooters. When you shoot the ball, your index finger, it leaves your middle finger first and your index finger last.
Let me just
right? So
everybody has a different shot motion. One thing I will say is that it will impact him.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna feel it.
Yeah.
But is this something that can keep you out of a game?
Right.
No, I think
at this point, no.
Particularly knowing De'Aaron Fox, but also this is the playoffs, and this is the first time that this group has been in this position. This is when I spoke to De'Aaron after the game. He was sitting at his locker, Perk, and he was like, we needed to get that one. But also I have all the confidence in the world going into this next game. Do you think that this is going to impact the Kings in a sizable way, Perk?
You know what? I don't. I still think, listen, De'Aaron Fox is a Texas boy. And look, it can't be no worse than this, okay? It cannot be no worse than this finger right here. This is what we do. You see this finger right here?
No one else is supposed to.
It's still,
Zoom in, Director Kevin.
Yeah, like I played through this. I played through this. So what I'm saying is this. I believe De'Aaron Fox is like living in this moment. He's playing exceptional basketball right now, and it didn't affect him late in the fourth quarter last night. And look, they have this such thing. They have some things behind the scenes when the doctors tell you at 75, come see me, that I have him pain-free, that he'll be able to go out there on the floor and deliver. I think he played.
I want to bring senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski back to our show here. Woj, we know that De'Aaron Fox has fractured his finger. What more can you tell us?
Malika, there's still some hope that De'Aaron Fox will be able to play Game 5, that crucial game back in Sacramento, with this series tied 2-2. I'm told he would need a protective covering on that finger. I'm told it's the very tip of that left index finger on his shooting hand. You know, the x-rays came back with a fracture there, but I think there's still some optimism. He'll be able to give it a go. Now, how effective he can be, how it impacts his grip, his shot, certainly those are the concerns. But the expectation is he'd get fitted or get a covering on that finger, on the hand, that would perhaps allow him to play. He's listed as doubtful right now, but again, certainly with the stakes right now at this point in the season, in the playoffs, I think De'Aaron Fox certainly is going to try to do whatever he can to get on the court, and there's optimism that at the very least he's going to give it a try Tuesday night with the series tied 2-2. 2-2, Malika.
Yeah, we were all just talking about it on the set, how competitive De'Aaron Fox is with the stakes this high. It would be surprising to see him at least not give it a go on Wednesday for this pivotal Game 5. Woj, thank you so much for stopping by.
Next level maturity right there. Let's dive into what Draymond is actually talking about, because Draymond, coming off of the bench, he actually helped the Warriors with the floor spacing, and consequentially, their assist numbers went up. They went back up to 31 or so a game when they're in their homestand in the playoffs. And now Draymond is back with his confidence, his team playing well, the offense churning. He's back to bringing balance on defense. As the closest defender, he held the Kings to 43% shooting percentage in the restricted area, which is 4th best in the playoffs. And that's not easy because the Warriors, they switch a lot of screens, which means he's probably back one step and he's still getting it done. And I'll show you exactly how that happens. This is a pick and roll. His job is to hedge. Look at Sabonis. He has a line drive to the rim. This should be an automatic, at least dunk, right? Instead, there's nice help defense. He's there to contest the shot, and Wiggins rebound. Big factor, another help defender on the perimeter that helps Draymond out. Again, watch this. This is a 2-on-1. You've got one player here. You've got Sabonis that can clean it up. Watch how active he is. Goes up, contests the shot, out of the play, almost out of bounds.
Right.
Sabonis is there, block it, and then you know what he did after.
And time and score in that one.
He flexed. Time and score 100%. And all of this set the scene for his game-saving defense, because Draymond guarded De'Aaron Fox in the second half and held him to 2 of 7 shooting. This was key late. Let's look at it. Thank you, Director Kathy, baby. All right, second half, he started guarding him. Watch this right here. Nice little attachment, contest, force a lot of contested 2s. And those are shots he normally makes, but when you switch defenders, that's a nice adjustment. Look at the time and score. Final play of the game. Steph doing his thing. He knows help defense is coming. This is where you make a calculated decision. 51% on 2s, 25% on 3s. Draymond stays active on the ball. Steph has his back. That is Warriors championship level defense. They didn't even need to talk. They just were active. They were there. They knew each other like bros. They're hugging. That's what won them the game. It was them getting their offense back because of his unselfish nature coming off the bench, and then getting their defense back because he knows exactly what to do, and he's willing to take any assignment, including the most clutch player this year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why Steve Kerr said when I spoke to him at halftime, he's like, you know what, we're going to make an adjustment here because yes, we don't like having 2 non-shooters on the floor in Kevon Looney and Draymond Green at the same time. But we're going to take a little bit of a risk here because we need Draymond's defense here on De'Aaron Fox. And then we saw Harrison Barnes say, if I can come back from his poor shooting in 2016, then I can do anything. But now we're flipping the page. We're going back to Sacramento, Ramona. You were at that game in Golden State as well. So should we expect Draymond to come off of the bench? How did we get here?
So we got here because Draymond watched Game 3 from home. And that game was not close, right? So he gets in his car before the game's even over, and he's watching it like he's watching game tape. And he's like, I see what's working. And I see Kevon Looney having an amazing game, 20 rebounds in that game, 9 assists. And they played better with just one big on the floor, and Jordan Poole played great. We need to have just one big, and if someone's going to sit, it should be me. And when I spoke to him after the game, he said, when I became a starter, David Lee lost his starting spot. David Lee was an all-star back when Draymond took his spot. And he didn't lose his spot because Steve Kerr made a decision. It was because David Lee got hurt in training camp, and Draymond just played great. And the Warriors, as we know them, were created during that stretch. And then David Lee came back, and Steve Kerr said, no, we're going to stay with what it is. And Dre said that was one of the most validating things that could ever happen to me because I believed I should be out there. And David Lee put his arm around him and supported him. This is a veteran all-star who just lost his starting spot, put his arm around him and said, here's what you need to do. Draymond said...
That doesn't sound like David Lee. That doesn't sound like David Lee.
Well, he said, this is how the world comes back around. Like, if that's how I got my job, I got to do the right thing here. Kevon Looney just had a career game.
Yes,
he was there when Draymond couldn't be there, and he should not be sitting that game. And so I think that I don't know if we see him come off the bench in this next game, but you know that Kevon Looney's been playing great, and Jordan Poole is going to be a starter for that team one day. It's just a question of when and who goes to the bench when he does. And so Draymond raising his hand after the suspension to do that, I thought was a big move for the Warriors, and it's something that they can do at any time now going forward.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Draymond, you love everything that he brings to the table, but it's just like you just want. There's a level of maturity. Even there where he got that block and he screamed at Sabonis, You love the fact. But we already seen Claxton get kicked out of a game for 2 taunting technicals. One for dunking on Embiid and staring at him. Another one for dunking on Embiid and walking over top of him. Draymond, when you block that shot, if you're screaming at him, that's taunting. Then you've already have 1 technical. Now you're thrown out of the game again. They're within their rights to give you another technical. Now you're a Hall of Famer. You're all of this, so they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But ultimately, you were close to getting another technical for screaming and yelling at him after the block.
Yeah.
I don't want that from him, and that's the maturity part that we have to see. Because if the Warriors do advance, the technicals are going with Draymond there. That's the biggest issue.
Can I say this about Draymond real quick?
Okay.
Let me appreciate this brother, because what he said in his post-game interview and what he said on his podcast is the true definition of losing yourself in the team. When you talk about coming back to the squad and giving yourself up and saying that, hey, I'm willing to come off the bench because it's better for the team. It's better for us overall because you know the goal that y'all are trying to reach is bigger than one individual. And if you reach that goal, everybody is going to get what they deserve anyway. Number 2, when Draymond spoke on the entitlement part, this is a message to all the basketball players out there in the world, not just in the league, but AAU and to their parents and to kids in high school. I keep telling people, it's not who starts, but it's who finishes the game.
Yep.
And in the crunch time when it matters the most, guess who was in the game at the elbow clogging up that lane for as De'Aaron Fox driving? It was Draymond. So I just thought it was a great thing for him to go out there and enlighten the people on how he took that lesser role and sacrifice. And also, he is very smart because he didn't hurt his bag. He helped his bag. And later down the line on in his career, guess what's going to happen? You could see him playing it out just like Udonis Haslem, an extension of the coach from 5 years from now, writing his own way out.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.